And this is a little router. Most of you know that we use this DWP 611. This is a DeWalt router. Most of you know that we use that. You know, if there's any newbies out there, you might not. But because this router doesn't have handles on it when we get it, this is the base that comes on it, and it doesn't have any handles. Now, about a year and a half or 2 years ago, I made a video and I showed how I modified this, and I put handles on it. And as a matter of fact, this is a poor old thing that we use now all the time, and you can see where the handles were, but they fell off. I used an epoxy on them, and eventually I drilled them, and they held pretty good after I drilled them, but it just wasn't successful. So, being a stubborn old Viking, I decided to make a base and put handles on it. Now this base is one that I designed, and anybody can make these. There's nothing to it. This is the base. Now this is the one for the DWP 611 and the Porter Cable 640. Why don't you get that out of the way?
Yeah, yours is over there.
And so, like I say, anybody can make these. All you have to do is find the handles and spend $10,000 and get a laser to cut these out and do the engraving. And then you can make a $25 base for your router. So, and if you don't want to,
I think you're encouraging them.
If you don't want to do that, you can let me make it for you. So anyway, this is what we use now on this base that goes with this router. So, in order to get the router base so that you have plenty of light coming in the back, and that you have a place for the sawdust to exhaust, then it's necessary. And if you look back at I think video number 53 or video 92, one of those videos, I show how I modify this. But here's what it is. This is the front.
Actually, Dad, video number 122 is the latest. Video 92 is where you introduced the base plate.
That's what we made.
Yeah, that's what I thought you said. I just wanted to make sure everybody heard it correctly.
Now, is it all right with you if I continue?
Continue, please.
Thanks a lot.
I apologize for the interruption.
So anyway, in order to modify this and open it up in the back like this one is, so that the sawdust comes out and you get more light in there, what I've done is this is a metal cutting hole saw, and what I do is I find the very center of this base. One of these days I think I'll set up and do this on camera again, but I find the center of the base, and there's a little line up here, and I say right about here is where I want the hole. Well, then I take this hole saw, this is a metal cutting hole saw, and I just drill a hole in that, and that's really all there is to it. And then in order to get the additional openings in there, once I get the hole in there, then I just draw a line on both sides up to the hole, and then I take this very technical piece of equipment called hacksaw, and I put this in a vise, and I cut up that line so that this final piece drops out, so that what you get is what you see. You see this whole thing opened up, and then I put this on the base, and once I get that done, we're ready to carve with it, and that's really all there is. Now I make this one for the DWP 611 and the Porter Cable 640. However, some of you have a Bosch router, a palm router, and some of you have a rigid. Now I have the pattern for this in my computer, but I also have the hole pattern is different on the other router. So what I do is I do a different engraving on it so that it's recognizable, and I make a hole pattern that fits the rigid router, or it will fit the Bosch router. And if you decide that you want one, if you don't want to spend the few dollars that it takes for you to get set up and make it, and you order it from us, then just let me know for sure which router you want it to fit. And that's really about all I wanted to say. And my session of this LTS, and just let you know that we're here to help you, and we hope you enjoy and benefit from the information that we give you, because that's what it's all about. So.
There wasn't one more thing you wanted to say, Dad?
What was it, son? You know me, I forget stuff easy.
Well, I was thinking that you were going to let them know that if they didn't have a drill press and they didn't want to cut the hole and modify the base, base housing.
That's a good point. Yeah, just in case you don't want to, if you don't have a drill press, if you don't have a shop the way we do, and you don't have a drill press, and you need a vise to hold this in when you're drilling it, if you don't want to do it, and you have one of these bases that you want me to modify for you, luckily I know how to do it, you can just send it to me, I'll modify it and send it back to you. I don't do it for free, but I don't charge much for it either. I think it's $25, something like that, and $6.50 shipping. So for 30 bucks and change, you can get me to modify it for you.
Now that would be then for either the DeWalt or the Porter Cable 450.
Yeah, the DeWalt or the Porter Cable 450.
Right.
Now, I'm not sure on the Bosch or on the Rigid. I don't have those, but I'm assuming that it would be basically the same thing. But I don't have a base to exchange for you, so you'd have to send it in to me. But contact me first, because I can go look at the Bosch or I can go look at the Rigid, and I can tell whether I'd be able to modify them as easily as I would this 611. So
I think one of them actually already is open in the back, but I can't quite remember which one.
The Porter Cable, the reason we use the DWP is because it has the little light on it. Porter Cable doesn't have the little light, but this gives you, if you're using this base, you just get a lot better visibility, and it's easier to handle. It makes it a lot easier to carve signs. You're going to see some really good sign carving in a few minutes. I got a guy here that's really a specialist. I've trained him, and it's my son Eric.
Oh,
you're gonna get to see him.
I thought you were talking about somebody else.
No, I keep hoping. But anyway, you're going to see him do some really amazing stuff with the router. I taught him everything I know, and he's learned a lot of stuff on his own. I don't know how, but he's really a first-class sign cutter, as you guys, most of you know. The ones that don't, you'll know after this session is over. So that's about, I think that's about all I needed to do, son.
Okay.
It was, I said I'd take about 10 or 15 minutes and do my talking thing. I could get my guitar and sing a little song, but that's probably a little much for this first one at least. I'll as we go along and do more of them, I'll do a little bit more. If not a song, dance, at least I'll tell some jokes.
Well, I'm glad your throat is holding up. You're not.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
too
trying
scratchy.
to keep my modulation down and talking a smooth, even voice.
Well done, Father.
Well done. Yeah. And I do have a little thing that I squirt in my throat.
You dropped it on the floor.
Yeah, it dropped on the floor. That's all right.
All right.
Anyway, that's about it for this session. We're gonna move this stuff off the table. Then my super son is going to get in here, and he's going to do his thing. So I'll probably talk to you later, or you'll hear me off camera, or I'll see you on the next LTS.
Oh, actually, at the end, the last 15, 20 minutes, guys.
At the end of this,
we'll both come back.
You've already told them that. Yeah, we'll come back. We'll have a lot of questions that people have sent in during the LTS. People will be sending in questions. And we'll come back, and as well as we can, for the time that we have, we'll try to answer those questions for you. So that's about it, son.
All right, get out of my way.
Get out of my way. Get out. Move it. Move it.
I'm going to need that. I'm going to need that. Okay. All right, so here we go. What I'm going to do, guys, is something that I've been thinking about for probably, gosh, a year, and I put it on the list to make a video on, and just hadn't got around to it because we're doing so much other stuff. So what I'm going to do, and Oh, I'm talking too loud. My wife says, bring it down. Sorry, I'm a little jazzed here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to show you guys a couple things that I've kind of developed and been playing around with. You know that something that's kind of unique to our kinds of signs, and you guys are probably, if you learned from us, you're probably doing your version of outset letters rather than inset letters. And I've done, what did I do with that paper? I've done we've done a couple different videos on how we do our background. And I know there's been issues through the years of how do I replicate that kind of texture in the background. So I'm going to show you that today. And I'm going to show you a couple other things, a couple other different backgrounds. I'm going to actually show you 5 different backgrounds that I've kind of played around with and created that will give you guys an idea of how it can be done, but also to try and spur you guys to find your own style. And that's what Dad and I have talked about all along, is just take what you get from us as maybe a kind of a beginning. We're very flattered that there's lots of you that are making signs that look like ours, and that's terrific, and that's very flattering. But there's a lot of you that have taken the basics that you've learned from us and then found your own niche, found your own style, and that is cool. So I'm going to show 5 different types of backgrounds, textures in backgrounds, so that you guys can see that and say, hey, I like that, but I want to change it, I want to tweak it a little bit, find your own style. Now our original style, that's the first one I'm going to do, for us is much, much faster. The other styles, as we go through and you see how they're done, they're pretty time consuming. So you want to take that into account when you're quoting your signs or you're doing something special like that. But anyway, so the one where I showed our original background, you can go back and watch number 55, where I did some background stuff, and then Dad did his background, which is tweaked a little bit beyond what mine is, but it's basically the same, just different depths, and he kind of gives it more of a depth. That's number 110. So, done that. Okay, so now we're moving on. So I am going to, where's my little router? I'm going to fire up my little router, and many of you already know what my outset letters look like, and I've done 4 of them here, but I figured I'd save the last one to actually do on camera, so you guys, in case you guys haven't seen the way we actually do outset letters, I'm going to do that on camera, and then I'm going to go back and do all the backgrounds. All right. So I just cut my hair to make sure that it wasn't dangling in my eyes as we're filming here.
Wait,
can't have that.
Let me zoom on that for you.
Are you going to zoom in on the dome, huh? Yeah. All right. So let me get that out of the way.
Should have powdered it so it's not so shiny.
I should have. Makeup, makeup. All right. So let's let me set the depth here.
Let me see.
Back up a little bit. You got me, babe?
Hold on. Figure this out here. I'm zooming.
Okay. We're still trying to learn how to do this webcam thing,
right,
guys. Can you get down on it? Okay, cool. Here we go. There's a good thing on the DeWalt, you guys. You notice that? That's a variable speed. Once in a while, it'll vibrate down on speed. I always run it at full speed, just in case you were wondering. So when I hear it and it doesn't sound right, generally it's vibrated down to where it's not full speed. Okay. Enough talking. Let's not deepen it. The router bit I'm using, by the way, guys, is our standard profile bit.
How deep are you going?
About that deep.
Alright, it's not past the cutting fluid though, that's important.
No. I'm probably going a little less than 1/4 of an inch. So one note, you guys, on these outset letters. When I do them, when I do them, you can see my first pass around, I leave a little bit of black in there, or on the edge, just a hair of black. And then what I want to do is, actually I want to go around it again and just trim that out.
Same depth?
Same depth, yes. That's not bad. That's pretty good. Now what I could do, in fact I'll do it on this one. What I can do, guys, is if my line isn't wide enough, and on this particular one, if I don't feel like, if I feel like my cutter is going to get too close to the edge of that letter, then I'll just make another pass around it. So remember that whenever you're doing outset letters, guys, and you want a little bit bigger buffer zone around those outset letters, go ahead and just set your cutter deeper and go around it again. That way, I'm not sure, why do we have the green carpet on here? Normally we don't carve with the green carpet on.
Yeah, normally you have the rubberized backing
yeah.
on there, but
We got a little rain falling, guys, so hopefully it won't start dripping right in the middle of my work here. Anyway, so this just gives you a little bit more room to get around there. Anyway, so that's the outset letters. Let me move that out of the way. Now, we'll bring in this. Did I plug this in? Oh, I did not. Dad, can you plug that in for me?
Do you need your rubber mat?
I don't think so, actually. I think this carpet will suffice as far as my rubber mat. We'll just have to vacuum it up later on. Now, I picked this particular router, guys, because I think there'll be a little bit more vision in here on the back side. At least I hope that's the case. And you're gonna hear it when it turns on. This thing is probably, I probably carved 3,000 or 4,000 signs with this router. So I think it's starting to go. You'll hear it when I turn it on. It'll sound like it's hurt, like it's been shot, but it still works. So I just keep going with it. I have to get it rebuilt one of these days. Okay, what? Oh, did I miss the camera there?
No,
Oh.
When you're done, I can zoom or not.
Okay, I'll just do what I'm doing and let you follow. Okay, so I am going to go and put a square around. You can see, hopefully you can see these pencil marks. I'm going to put a square around each one of these S's, and then I'm going to go back and do the background. I'm just going to do this fast, so I'm not following a real straight line. Yeah, the whole board wants to slide on me. Hey, Dad, do we have any of those blue clamps up there where we can clamp this piece of particle board? If not, can you go grab one?
yes, I will.
Thank you.
What, the rubberized mat?
It's not the carpet, it's the whole board. So if you can just put a clamp on the edge of the board, that would be great. Thank you. We're winging it, guys. Adds a little difficulty when you have the whole board want to slide on you a little bit. That's all right. How we doing on time, babe? We're running out. By the way, in case you all didn't know, my wife Vicki is running the laptop over there. If you guys can even hear me, you probably can't. fit around this area. That's better, much better. Okay, so back to this S. I'm going to do our original standard background on this one. Standard background now.
You want to hold that up so they can see it? I think most of them know what it is. But... Okay.
Yes. Yes.
I know it's hard to talk, and if you're talking down like this on top of the router, I think I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Okay. All right. I'll try and make an adjustment. Okay. So this is our standard background, guys. Which way? This way?
Yeah. There we go.
Okay, this is our standard background. So now I'm going to do the one that you've seen me do before. I think I was doing it on that big sign for, can't remember what the video was, but that big sign for the Indian, the Indian Hosani or something like that, which emulates a sandblasted look. And I've been doing that for years and years. So anyway, I'll get going on that. Okay, so just a note, in case you guys don't know, the bit I'm using here is our 90-degree V-groove bit.
No, to show your...
Oh, the work, sorry. Misunderstood. What are we doing, rerouting the cord? As you guys can see, we're definitely winging it. Alright, so, now I'm going to take this same background, but now, yes.
We froze, I gotta go out.
Uh-oh, our camera froze?
Yeah, be right back.
Okay, hold on guys. We gotta reboot our camera here. Dad, you got a pencil I could borrow? Thank you.
Don't forget where you got it.
Alright.
That's the way I got it.
Are we on camera yet again?
Yeah.
Alright, so here's what I'm going to do here is I'm just drawing a line. Normally I'd use a straight edge, but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go the same basic thing that I've done here, but I'm going to do it at an angle.
Video.
Well, that might be a delay. Do they have it back now?
It says, okay guys, well, ask them.
Yeah, okay, so we got a message that some of you lost video, and it froze at one point. Is your video back now?
No. I can see it. Video is back. Yes, I have video. No video. Yes.
So.
Okay.
We apologize. I don't know why we're...
Okay, video's back.
Okay, video's back. All right, I'm back at it then. Okay, I'm going to explain something here real quick, guys. So here's that. Now normally what I had planned to do was do this again here and then add something to that, but to try and keep our time down, I am now going to modify this and I'm going to go the other way with it, and you'll see kind of how it changes, and then I'll make up for it at the end.
So hold that up so I can get a good close-up of it so they can see it before and after. So.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So now we're just going to go the other direction. Now you can see what it did. It took the diagonal, and by going the other direction, I thought it would leave a different pattern than what it leaves. And to be very honest with you guys, I did this for the first time last night, but it's been in my mind. It's something I've been wanting to try, but I really like it a lot better.
I did that 30 years ago.
Yeah, you didn't show me. Anyway, sorry about that.
I told you guys you're going to see some amazing router work, and then you're seeing an expert.
So, thank you, Dad. So anyway, it actually turned out a lot better than what I thought it was going to. I didn't think I was really going to like it, but I kind of do. So, yes.
June says she still can't see anything. If she closes her the viewer and reopens it, will you think it'll...
Yeah, June, if you're not seeing video, everybody else seems to be seeing video. Gosh, I feel like such a geek with this thing on my head. Try, June, closing it out and coming back in. Maybe that will help. I don't know if it's something... But it doesn't seem to be widespread, just June so far.
Are you going to tell them that I'm filming this on a regular camera and we're going to archive it so they can come back and see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I'll look forward to that. I'll look forward to that.
You just heard it. Okay, so... Okay, so I'm going to do the last one right here, since I kind of did that one in the same one. I'm going to do the last. This is what I'm going to name these so you'll know what I'm talking about. All right, so this last one I'm going to call Dimple. This